So a psycho, right?
Okay,
so,
yeah.
I was like, I'll
got
put
that
it
one.
A psycho.
He's in Fortnite.
Yeah, and a siren.
Right.
Remember, they're the ones that have like they're the I think Maya's
Skibbity toilet, siren head.
Yeah. No, but so this is like an important thing to me.
Yeah.
So this is really important to me.
I'm ruining this.
You are. No.
Brad is dying. What are you guys talking about? Brad is in the corner like losing his mind right now. I'm gonna cry.
How's it taste?
Somehow my teeth hurt.
Oh, I've heard that before.
So actually, somehow my gums hurt.
Would help.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to And They Were Classmates.
Oh my God, they were classmates.
We forgot to warn you about the solo mini-sode for Nolynn last week.
And we forgot to warn you that there have still been no episodes in the last maybe month now.
It's fine. We
But
just took
it's-
out.
you know what it
We
is?
promised regular episodes in September.
That is true. But I realize what it is. It's like I keep saying, oh, I will. Or wait, I keep saying like I'm gonna. I don't know how I phrased this earlier when I was thinking of this. But like I'm not phrasing it enough in reality.
Yeah, it's more of a abstract, I'll get to it, and
Exactly.
not an I'm going to do it
Yeah,
at this
my
time.
plan is to do it. So this episode is out on time. Hi, on time listeners and viewers. Welcome to the on time episode.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
I really am.
There's no rooting because it already happened.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
We're
you're
just
so
in a
right.
timeline
You're so
where it
right.
already happened.
We're manifesting this
Not
right now.
even. It's
Exactly.
already there.
It's already there. That's how it works on the internet.
There's one.
We are live and sitting in your computer right now.
That's
This is
also
not
true.
pre-recorded.
That's also true.
I definitely haven't spent the last 2 weeks doing nothing but playing Dress to Impress.
What's with that game?
Okay, so it's
Why is it like taking over?
It's fun. And it's really easy to pick up. If I've never played Roblox before, right? I was one of those people that I heard about Roblox when it first came out, and I tried to open it, and I was a little too old, so I opened it, I got overstimulated, I closed it, and then I never thought about it again, you know? And then, but Dress to Impress is it kind of scratches the itch that, like, dress-up Flash games used to.
Okay.
You know? And it's great because it's one of those games that when you're playing it at, like, any age, like, you can kind of tell how old the other contestants are because it has like really simple pieces that you can put together into really complex pieces. So like for younger kids, it's a lot of fun because it's like, oh, I get to put on the pretty clothes and change the patterns, whatever. And then for adults, it's fun because I'm putting 6 skirts together to make a separate skirt shape that does not exist in this game.
Right.
But if I layer all of these polygons, because you're allowed to do that, and I layer all the patterns right, then I can make it all look like one big dress, and then I get more points, and it just becomes that.
Okay.
And there's something to be said about the fact that it's entirely free.
True.
Like there are some games because I've gotten more because I've been playing Dress to Impress. Some of my friends who actually like play Roblox have been trying to like show me other stuff that they think I'd like. Some of it they were unfortunately right about.
Yeah.
But like but I've realized how many games in Roblox like you have to kind of go in expecting to spend Robux, right? Like you have.
Honestly, yeah.
But you don't have to for Dress to Impress. Because
Right.
99% of the stuff that's in there is free. You get all of the faces for free. You just don't get to customize them. You get all the hairstyles for free. They even they have like a code system so you can put in like creator codes. Like the reason I started playing Dress to Impress is because I was watching Queso streams, and now Queso has a collab with TDI where if you put in Kitty for one of their, which is because that's what he calls his cat, you get a cat that you can carry, like stuff like
Right.
that, like. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I like sitting in a Discord call for like 4 hours with the girls, just dressing to impress.
Every now and then there is a Roblox game that just sweeps the nation.
Yeah.
You know, it is interesting because like I started playing Roblox in like 2013.
That was
and
about when I got overwhelmed by it.
Kind of fell off since then, but I was like 8 at the time, you know. So,
yeah, I was like 12 in 2013. So I was like.
But it's weird how like seeing the way like Roblox brings in people who are like normally wouldn't play Roblox, and I see that time and time again.
No,
with,
I
murder mystery and all that shit.
No, and now I'm starting to really genuinely enjoy the game creator scene there because it's also scratching the indie game itch for me because I love indie games.
Yeah.
There is nothing I love more than I remember during 2020, I don't remember what the site is, but one of the indie game sites was offering a huge bundle, just a giant bundle, because it was if I remember right, it was Black Lives Matter bundle, or something similar to that, where basically all of these indie devs, it was a pay what you can, and you got something ridiculous. I think it was 40 games, and then it was also like 20 just pieces of software that people had made, like editing software, like stuff like music software, stuff like that. And it was just pay what you can. And the donations start at like $5. So I paid $50 because I wanted to like donate money. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I still to this day have that like bookmarked, and I just go through it. I'll be like, oh, cool. I feel like playing, because it has like some, I don't want to call them like huge games, but it has some bigger ones in there, like Mortuary Assistant. I actually got, what's the climbing one? That trans girls like.
Oh, I don't know.
Because it's about being trans. Celeste.
Oh, Celeste.
Like, sorry.
My ass was like, a difficult game about climbing?
Super Meat Boy. Sorry, that's where I go. That's my age. I immediately think of Super Meat Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds like when it was like summer 2020 as well, maybe 2021. Those get conflated too easily.
That's the thing about being locked in your house for 9 months, is that it really made all the days go.
But it's
together.
like specifically like the months get like weird. It's like June 2020 and June 2021 will get mixed up, and that's insane. But I bought the Valve Complete bundle for like $15 or $20, so it was just every Valve game ever.
I missed that one.
And like I still haven't played like more than 2 of them.
Oh, my Steam library is full of games that I don't play.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like it's so cheap. Like just the other day, I saw the Borderlands movie.
Oh no!
And then
I'm so sorry.
I've never played the games though, and it
so you might have kind of enjoyed it.
I did kind of enjoy it, but then I like felt bad that I kind of enjoyed it, so I just bought every Borderlands game.
That's a good choice.
And now I am trying to play them, but
you
know.
Should. They're very, very good.
Once I'm done editing, I will.
There you go. That's what you have to do. You have to be like, I thought it was really funny. One of my friends, Henry, his favorite game in the whole world is Overwatch. I love Henry, and he is the number one Hanzo fan, number one Hanzo main, has been forever. It was McCree before that. Like he loves Overwatch and always has. And now he has been at least like earlier this week, he told me, he was like, I had to tell myself that I couldn't play Overwatch until I took my T shot. Because he was like, I don't want to take it. The needle is scary. I was like, no, and he was like, he was like, the only way I could get myself to take it was to tell myself I couldn't play Overwatch. So that's your secret, maybe. You can't play Borderlands until you finish editing.
I always try that too. I had that with my 30 plus missing assignments in December, where it's like, I will not play Lego Fortnite until the assignments are done, and it just doesn't work for me. I just disobey my own laws too fast.
That's so fair. I think it helps that like Henry and I are both like the kind of autism that we need to follow even our own rules.
Yeah.
Like I no one stresses me out more than myself when it comes to like I'll be sitting there and I'll be like stressing, and my boyfriend Ace will be like, what? And I'll be like, well, we were supposed to do this by this time, this by this time, and he'll be like, whoa.
Right.
We were supposed to do what, when? And I'll be like,
you're like, oh, I made this up, and then I made this up.
It's my schedule, yeah.
Yeah.
I made that schedule. You weren't a part of it. But now we're off my schedule, and now I'm mad about it.
But yeah, I saw Borderlands. Crazy that it can't escape single digits on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't think it's crazy, because Borderlands as a franchise was already, I don't want to say like controversial, because that's not correct, but it's very love or hate. Just by nature.
Divisive.
Yeah, that's the word. It's very divisive in terms of whether, you know, the style of humor is very of its time. And if you don't enjoy that era of humor, you're not going to enjoy Borderlands. I love that era of humor because I grew up in that. So that's like that, like the stupid, like have you seen the ad for Borderlands 2? It's like really popular because it was Krieg and Maya who I think are they in I think Krieg is in the movie, right? Isn't he?
I have no clue.
let me put this way. So a psycho, right? And
Okay,
so,
yeah.
I was like, I'll
Got
put it
that
this way.
one.
A psycho.
He's
and
in Fortnite.
Yeah, and a siren,
Uh-huh.
right? Remember, they're the ones that have like they're the I think Maya's.
Skibbity toilet, siren head.
Yeah. No, but so this is like an important thing to me.
Yeah.
So this is really important to me.
I'm ruining this.
You are. No. No, I'm kidding.
All right, continue.
No, but so there's an ad for Borderlands 2 that's like really it went viral when it first came out. And it's about Krieg, who's a psycho, finding Maya, who's a siren, and instantly falling in love with her. And we get like it's told through voiceover where we can hear that Krieg is actually aware of what he's doing, but he has no control over it. So it's a lot of like, okay, another day of going through and killing people. And then they're fighting, I don't remember what they're fighting, just like random rats or something. And someone's about to come up behind her. And he's sitting there, and you can hear in his head, he's like, okay, we have to warn her. And then he turns around, and he's saying, like, because psychos just have all, like, these preset lines. So it's like, get ready for the ribcage slaughter, like, stuff like that. And and then eventually he finally turns around and goes, look out, pretty lady, and, like, throws something, and it, like, twirls and hits in the back of the head, and they fight. And it's really cute. It's, like, a really cute meet-cute moment. But for a lot of people, like the moment is afterwards when she's like, thanks for that. Like most people, whatever. Like she tries to talk to him, and he just looks at her and he's like, I'm the conductor of the poop train. Like, and that's what I mean, where it's like very specific, like of its era humor. But I really like it because that like when I'm sitting there and I'm hearing them all like bicker over headsets or whatever, it makes me laugh. But I know I tried to introduce it to like my niece and nephew. I tried to show them Borderlands 1, and they're both significantly younger than you, obviously. Like they're one of them, well, at the time they were like, I want to say, I'm trying to do math in my head because if I know how old one of them was, I'll know how the other one was. I want to say they were like 14 and 4. Like something like that. Like my brother had a pretty big gap between his two kids, and their siblings are another big gap. Like it was just, so I might not have done that math right now that I think about it, but it's fine. But anyway, it was similar age ranges, and they both just kind of were like, that's really random. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay. And I was like, fuck. Random humor has changed.
They made Claptrap too much like a Rick and Morty
No,
like sidekick character.
Claptrap's one of my favorite characters.
He was like a horrible Rick and Morty sidekick. Like just for like an episode where they have like a goofy, like almost like ironically like too goofy, and that's what Claptrap was the whole time.
See the worst.
No. Claptrap is the new Jar Jar Binks. In this movie, Jar Jar Binks did to Claptrap.
See the problem is that canonically no one fucking likes Claptraps. Like in the series, no one, like everyone thinks they're annoying, but it's because imagine the personality that Claptrap has there dialed up like 5 more points, and that's in the game, but it makes more sense in the game because it's not Jack Black voicing him. It's the original voice actor for Claptrap. I read an interview about this recently. They didn't use the original voice actor for him because they were worried that the audience wouldn't be able to love him in the short amount of time, because his whole thing in the game is that it's so funny that he's like really annoying and really loud, like, and that everyone hates it. But because they have the time to dial that up to 11, it's a lot more, it's funny. It works really well, but I can understand why that wouldn't work in such a short format as a movie compared to the way that Borderlands works, which I don't know if you know this, the best way to play Borderlands is to play it at least 4 times in a row. Because it's one of those games as a short campaign, because you go through once and then you start over, but you start over at the level you ended at. You can only go up to like level 20 in your first playthrough unless you're trying really hard. And then you keep going through, and then you start at the beginning as level 20, and then you get access to more things. And so like it's something that doesn't exist in gaming anymore. Nowadays, they just make you pay for all that.
Yeah.
It's again, like I feel so old being like Borderlands is such like of its era, but it really is in very good and very bad ways. Sunset Overdrive right into that too. I really love Sunset Overdrive, but a lot of people think it's cringe because it's dated comedy.
Right. But yeah, the shit he was doing and saying in this damn movie, it felt like I was just the entire time I was thinking about how like they made edits of the Phantom Menace to include less Jar Jar. I feel like I don't know. I get like the character's supposed to be annoying like that, but just I don't know the way he was written and the shit he was doing.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Where I'm like
outrageous.
you can't take the character that's overly annoying to be beloved and then dial back the annoying, because then he just goes back into annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Claptrap in the game is a lot of like the Borderlands 2 starts with you having to like listen to a Claptrap and be like, okay, minion, we're gonna go and you have to go and kill all these billabongs for me. And then it's like, okay, minion, now you're gonna have to go and do this. I can't climb upstairs. Like it's a lot of stuff like and a lot of the humor is based off of you having a communicator. So they're just like popping in while you're doing stuff and talking in your ear while you're trying to fight. And like it's all like a lot of stuff that I never expected to translate over well to a movie.
Right.
And then when, like, not to be that guy, but when Ace, I tried really hard to be optimistic, but I should have been like Ace, because Ace is a diehard Borderlands fan. And as soon as he heard that the Borderlands movie wasn't for fans,
yeah,
because like I think the guy that owns I don't remember his name, the guy that like owns the company that makes
John
Borderlands
Borderlands
himself did say no, but he said in an interview, he was like, yeah, we're not making this movie for like Borderlands fans. We're making it because we want the general public to be interested in Borderlands.
Well, if that's their goal,
and I'm like,
then they might have got me.
Good. I hope they do, because I hope you can realize how much better the games are.
I guess that is the end result, though. Maybe in 5 years they make a sequel.
I'm just glad that we're back to the proper video game movie timeline. We had too many good video game movies in a row.
We did. We had Sonics and Marios that were fire.
I can't wait for Sonic 3 though. Like unironically, I've really enjoyed the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Like too much for someone who's been an adult the entire time they've been coming out.
Right.
But I was there. I remember when they debuted that first fucking model.
Do you think it was a PR stunt?
No. That's my hot take. I genuinely don't think it was.
Because I know they also made some toys and plushies with the ugly Sonic, and there's like ugly baby Sonic footage, and I don't think they would go to that extent to fake it.
Yeah, I think that they thought I don't think they realized how far in the uncanny valley it was. Right. Because I feel like this happened, especially a lot more with movies that now that they rely too much on CGI instead of like having any physical models. It is so difficult because you can kind of tell sometimes that everyone working on that movie was looking at a design for too long. Right. And I think that's what happened with the original Sonic, because they rolled out the second one with enough of a gap and it was similar enough to the original. I was like, no, if this had fully been a PR stunt, they would have had that backup rig already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it wouldn't have taken, what was it? The first trailer dropped and then it took another 6 months for another trailer to drop. Yeah. Like, yeah, that'd be enough time for you to go through, and you can't edit out the entire thing. That's why it's still the same basic shape. You can make the eyes a little bigger. You can make it more expressive. And that was what they did. And it worked out really well. That's crazy. Just the image of him in the garage is in my head right now. Yeah, just thinking about what... meow. That's oh my crazy. God. I will never get over the fact that I've never seen a movie get hated on that hard that quickly that even the studio was like, oh, Jesus Christ, we need to do something about this. The studio interference is different. Sometimes it's like the trailer and people immediately hate it, but the studio actually saying, okay. I was going to say, part of me always wondered if it was Nintendo that kind of strong-armed them about it, because like Nintendo owns Sega now, like obviously. That's why we were able to have all the Mario and Sonic games. The former series. Bring back Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, please. I would pay so much money. So many real life dollars. But $69.99. I would. I would tax on the Nintendo eShop, no less. No, but it's just so. I've never seen a movie receive that treatment so quickly, and I feel like Nintendo probably was like, "You're gonna damage our IP." Yeah. With this, like, people are gonna associate us with ugly Sonic, and I think that's part of why they were able to get away with the ugly Sonic jokes later. Like, because the studio saw it as like people are allowed to make fun of it because the studio sees it as like, oh, well, we got, like, we know that Nintendo strong-armed us about it, you know? And everyone else just thinks that we're the good guys that fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always been my conspiracy theory, is that Nintendo's strong-armed. Well, especially just because I know how picky Nintendo is about their IPs.
They will not put Samus in Fortnite.
No.
And they've tried.
They've tried so many times.
They've tried.
No, it's, they're so... Nintendo in general is very protective of their IPs to the point that it's a little ridiculous.
Totally. From like a modern gaming perspective.
Yeah.
As we move more towards like these crazy collabs and this and that and there, and like Nintendo's just been so weird about it. And it's crazy that they have Super Smash Bros, which is like kind of like the hub for like crossovers and shit.
Yeah.
At least until Fortnite. But
it was the crossover of all time until Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was the first multiverse type thing like that.
But then they're so picky with where they send their stuff, and I hate that.
But at the same time, I get it because that's how you protect it. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of why we haven't seen, like, Mario hasn't changed much because Nintendo doesn't want Mario to change.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's not going to let anyone else change Mario. That was part of why I remember, like, when the Mario movie first dropped, and like I'm deep in Nintendo fan Twitter, which is an awful, horrible place to be. It's hell. Because there's something about Nintendo fanboys specifically. Like,
has Nintendo forgotten about Mario?
Yeah, no. And I remember when that came out, and they were all like, "Well, this is all like breaking the IP. This is breaking like Mario doesn't do that. Mario," and I'm like, clearly it doesn't. Because Nintendo's the one that have their name slapped on this. Like, it's an Illumination movie, but from like. It didn't feel like an Illumination movie at all.
No, that's their best work. Other than like Despicable Me 1, that might be their best.
I really did enjoy Despicable Me 2. And my hot take is I did enjoy Minions. I would just prefer all of these movies to be like separate movies instead of all being part of one
big canon.
I'm so tired of every movie being like a sequel or a remake or based off a book or...
They went crazy this year though in terms of like revenue.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like, I totally get it. And then people are like, I saw this tweet that was like, we want original stuff from Pixar. And then it was comparing the likes for Incredibles 2 announcement versus that, like, porcupine movie they're making. Even I don't know shit about it.
Oh, yeah, no.
But it was comparing the like count from, like, when Pixar does something original versus when Pixar does Incredibles 3. And people just care so much more when it's a sequel. And that sucks, but...
Oh yeah, but that's just like it's an already established IP. If you go off of that, then you're just gonna run out of IP. Like right now, we're running out of IPs for them to make sequels of.
True.
Why are we making Incredibles 3? Like let's examine that for a second. What possible isn't like the whole thing? Have they even said anything about it besides just that we want to make it because it'll make us money?
I feel like they probably said something in the pitch, but.
Because a lot of times I find myself watching these sequels and I keep thinking to myself, this is good. I'd prefer it if it was its own movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I personally, when I watched Frozen 2, I really liked it, but I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, I wish either this had been in the first movie or this had been its own separate movie about this. Because as good as this is...
And by separate movie, you just mean like you wish it was labeled like Frozen Other World or some shit, or
no, I mean I wish it was an entirely separate IP. I wish that
with
it
different
wasn't
characters telling like a similar story.
Well, because I feel like Frozen 2 was divorced enough from Frozen 1, it could have stood alone.
But what that mean if like hot swapping the characters? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I mean like when you take like the story of Frozen 1, which is about like all of like the two sisters figuring out, you know, coming together, whatever, Elsa embracing who she is, all that. Cool. The second movie that's all about like the elementals and stuff, that was a really cool concept, and I feel like they could have done more with it if it hadn't been a Frozen movie.
Okay, right. So you'll see a sequel and say like the root of this is cool. It's just like, why'd you force the Frozen characters into? Okay,
it's just like you could have taken this cool like discovering you're an elemental like thing and had it not be Elsa.
Yeah.
You could have made a new Disney princess for that. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Like, I feel like a lot of people are clowning on like recent originals, but it's because like they're forgetting how many of the really good originals got shafted.
Oh, yeah.
Like Turning Red, easily one of the best movies that Pixar has put out in the last like 5-6 years. no one knows about it because it was put immediately on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And
It did get a little theatrical release in February of this year.
Yeah, but look at and look at how Luca did.
Mm-hmm.
And Encanto.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about Bruno. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like anything Disney has put out or Pixar has put out before.
Mm-hmm.
At least in terms of like at least in terms of songs that actually gain popularity out of it. It wasn't because usually the song that gains popularity is the I Want song, right? Mm-hmm. It's always the I Want song because it's a song that the little girl likes to sing along to while she's watching the movie. But we don't talk about Bruno went so hard that it hit number 1.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy times.
I don't know. I'm like a Disney person, though. I always have been. But I also recognize that they're kind of a shitty company, so I pirate
Totally.
Disney now.
There you go.
That's the secret.
I'm a great Disney fan, but I will pirate everything they ever made.
I can't help the fact that I grew up on Disney, but I can help giving them money by pirating.
There you go.
I love sailing the high seas.
Yeah. Trying to think of shit I've done. I did the Hot Ones shit yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Did all 10. It was crazy. It got crazy around 4, and then it got crazy around 8, and then got crazy on 10.
Maybe for a special, we should do a Hot Ones episode.
We should.
Where every 10 minutes we have to eat a new wing.
Yeah. We did them on Wendy's nuggets.
Oh my god.
Because my manager was originally just gonna get like 3 20 pieces from McDonald's.
Dude,
And I'm
Wendy's-
like, no. You're going bulk chicken nuggets.
Wendy's owes us.
$14.99. 50 nuggets.
I think Wendy's needs to just sponsor us at this point. Wendy's,
Honestly.
we love you.
But terms, Vanilla Frosty has to be available more often than it is. I'm not my whole chocolate replacement theory.
I'm here for the chocolate.
Supporter of the
replacement.
chocolate replacement theory. But
That sounds
just
like
more often, all right?
I don't know if we can say stuff about chocolate replacement theories as white people. I realized after we started laughing about that maybe isn't our best move.
No. Scrub that from the record. But anyway, no, Wendy's, all right, look. Like it's like orange dreamsicle. Okay. Straight into triple berry. Like give us 2 months of vanilla Frosty.
That's what I'm saying.
Could it be so hard?
Also, are that many people really ordering chocolate Frosties? Because I don't know anyone that genuinely enjoys a chocolate Frosty more than a vanilla one.
Nah.
Everyone that I know is like, yeah, I'll order a chocolate Frosty when it's the only one they have. I don't like the berry ones.
It's
Like,
just gross. Like
it tastes like my Ensure shakes.
yeah.
Like I'm saying, like I can say this very confidently now as someone that like has to drink Ensure semi-regularly because I'm chronically ill. It tastes like an Ensure. It tastes like a frozen Ensure shake. It tastes like powder.
It's bad.
How is it dry?
So bad. So bad.
It's so bad.
Ugh.
Wendy's, please hear our plea.
It was a real downer moment.
For real.
Hear a pin drop. It's so sad.
We need to put in like the world's smallest violin music
Yeah,
for that,
exactly.
and like raining, like you know the one that like everyone uses.
Yeah. We're dying out here. I feel like I had a big thing.
A big thing.
It wasn't my life. It was like some internet drama, but it wasn't.
Shit.
It wasn't just the Mr. Beast shit.
That is a big thing.
Did you see anything from the Elon and Trump interview?
No, I managed to avoid
That's
it.
what's so
somehow.
funny is like it's so like unnotable that no like clips have come out. Like people don't really care for like there
I
were
heard
some.
it was like I heard that all that I've heard about it is that it was genuinely embarrassing.
Yeah, honestly.
Like that's all I've heard.
Yeah. It was because Ludwig streamed it, and then he had like a bingo thing that like Jack Films also did it.
I was
but
gonna say I think Jack Films had a
yeah.
bingo
So he said
too.
like thanks Jack Films for the idea, but it was crazy, man. Like first 5 minutes, Elon goes, "Oh yeah, that shooting was incredible." And I think he meant like the response and what that did for the political party, but like he just said, "Oh yeah, that shooting was so incredible."
Oh my god.
And then do they literally talk about the shooting for like a good 20 minutes to half hour, and
Of
just
course they do.
yeah,
Well, because no one else is talking about it.
no
so they
one
have
else.
to.
Yeah, it's a forbidden topic.
Yeah, dude. Well, because everyone's too busy with the Kamala Mensman, dude.
Right.
Or the Kamala Mensman? Is that how you put it? Kamala? Kamala? I've heard both, and I don't know which one she
think
says. I think it's Kamala. I think it's Kamala.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to pronounce it correctly. I'm
Desperately.
I'm genuinely trying. I just well, because no one knows how to fucking pronounce names, and no one bothers asking. So so half the news that I read is people saying Kamala, and half of them saying Kamala. But I think she says Kamala, and that's usually what I go by because I'm, But what do I know? I told there was a person that I worked with that went by one name. I asked her when I started working there, like when I started working at Cracker Barrel, I asked her what her name was because people called her two things. And she told me one. And then after like 5 full years of working with her, like a month before she's due to transfer down, to transfer down to another store in Texas, she tells everyone, oh, by the way, it was the other one. And all of us are like, we all asked.
Yeah.
Cause she's Filipina. So her name is so this is gonna throw me off because now I don't remember because that's been a couple of years. I called her Lanny for like the entire time that I worked with her. And then I got corrected to Laney. So I joined in with Laney and I asked her, I was like, oh, is it Lanny or Laney? And she was like, oh, it's Laney. And I was like, okay. She's like, everyone calls me Laney, so just call me Laney. I'm like, okay. And then a month before she leaves, she was like, by the way, I was Lanny the whole time.
That's crazy.
And then she would get mad at all of us for calling her Lanny instead of Laney.
Huh.
And we were all kind of like, girl, we love you, but you could have corrected us years ago.
Right.
And especially because like people would ask her and she always said she didn't care. So when and I get that like maybe she changed her mind about caring or whatever.
But then it's too late with the like everyone.
Yeah.
Sunk cost and all that.
It was more just like it was the fact that she was getting so upset so quickly. And this was also around the time that she also got mad at me because I assumed that she spoke Spanish. And she got mad at me because she's like, I'm not Latina, I'm Filipina. And I was like, exactly, that's why I thought you spoke Spanish, because you're Filipina, and a lot of Filipinas that I know speak Spanish because a lot of people in the Philippines speak Spanish. And also your husband is Mexican from Mexico. And you guys go to Mexico to visit them. And it's like
it's like this was a safe assumption from every angle you want to spin it.
I was like, my bad, girl. I knew you were Asian. I promise I did, because a lot of people assume she was Latino. Or Latina. So I get why she was so upset. Like, so I'm not mad about it. It's just really funny that it's just one of those things that's really funny looking back now. Yeah. That she was really upset about it, and like at the time I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then I'm looking back, I'm like, no, I was right.
I was valid for that.
Actually, the white person, was justified. No. No, but it was one of those things that I told someone else about that like we worked with, and they were like, she doesn't speak Spanish. Like a lot of us assumed that she would speak Spanish because, again, she was married to a Mexican man. Right. Or I don't think they were married yet, but they had like been together for a long time at that point. She'd been down to visit his family, like, and I guess we just kind of were like, yeah, Filipino woman, a Mexican man. They probably speak at least some Spanish at home. Like, my bad.
Have you been following the Mr. Beast drama?
I've been following it from a distance. Yeah. It's kind of funny because most of the things that I say are like, yeah, he does like nice things, but isn't it kind of fucked up that he makes people perform for it? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I said from the beginning. And then I got gaslit into not believing that anymore. And now everyone believes it again.
The last like big expose video was like a sit down interview with like a former crew member and then contestant that, like, did you hear bits and pieces of it?
I've heard bits and pieces of it, but it's also kind of hard because I've known that, like, there were a lot of part of who I get some of mine from are what's her name? She used to do Nerdy Nummies. She has like a Food Network show now. What's her name? She's like
Rosanna Pansino.
Yeah, Rosanna Pansino. Yeah, because
she's been a big Mr. Beast hater for a good reason.
No, for completely
her shit is insane.
Yeah, the fact that she's gotten like completely screwed over.
Yeah, and then no one will like give her anything for
now
like 3 now they are.
Yeah.
But for like 3 years she was saying like, yes, this was rigged. Like yeah.
Yeah, and it took the new 100 YouTubers video coming out for everyone to be like, the YouTubers videos are... Yeah, Rosanna Pansino's been saying that for like 4 years now. Legitimately. Because I think she started saying it during COVID.
Right.
And that was another reason why I was always really hesitant about Mr. Beast. I was always kind of like, yeah, like I get that he's doing all this stuff. He has so much money and he's spending it in good ways. But he's also still making all of these desperate people perform tricks to do it for him.
Crazy shit though is like it's coming out more and more now that like the people he gets are like they're not just random people, they're like camera trained and shit, and like I guess it's still cruel the way he makes them do the shit they do.
I feel like that
but like
makes
it's so much more performative.
Yeah, because that gets rid of any of the philanthropy that makes the admittedly horrible things you're doing to some of these people like justifiable. Like with the one video that I watched that we talked about extensively, the like 100 people have to decide who wins, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was sitting there and I was watching it, and it was one of those things where like I was really entertained and it was cool and whatever, but there was still always that voice in the back of my head that's like, does that 100-year-old man really want to be sitting here? Like, or is he just sitting here because someone told him that he could make a lot of money doing it, and he's like, well, I'll do that then. Like,
there's a whole
that's why I always kind of like kept I was always willing to like check in with Mr. Beast content because he is so popular and because like a lot, and because he was doing so many good things. But now knowing that extra layer of like a lot of the things that we thought were philanthropy were just paying 100 actors that you hired more, it's like but then can we still, I don't know, I feel bad like just like shitting on him because I know that like you really like, I know that you really enjoyed him for a while.
Yeah.
So, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of jaded when it comes to when it comes to like content creators turning out to be awful, because like everyone that I idolized between the ages of like 10 and 16 has turned out to be a pedophile. So like I'm a little jaded about like, content creators all suck. Like none of them are good. I genuinely don't trust any of them fully anymore.
Watch how this ages. I think Ludwig is awesome.
Oh no.
And there will never be a Ludwig situation.
Hasn't there already been a Ludwig situation?
People are mad about the way. There's been a couple, kind of, but
not like a situation.
Not like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People are upset with the way he's been handling the Mr. Beast drama and saying he's like super biased because he's like been in Mr. Beast videos and like kind of close with him. But like, I don't know. It's just people being weird in his chat, and like they'll because like he's reacting to these expose videos like for his first time on stream. So he'll have a take like 25 minutes in that like doesn't age well by like 50 minutes into the video, and then people will take his 20-minute thing and be like, "Oh, how could you say this?" And
that's kind of why when it comes to stuff like this, I wait for it to settle before I like kind of, this is going to sound bad. I wait for all the dust to settle before I pick and choose who to unfollow. But like which sounds really bad, but
you want to see the response.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
I mean legitimately, I want to see how, especially because like everyone's responses might change over time.
Yeah, because like the follow isn't like an endorsement. It's like I'm following them. I want to see what they say.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like I also am someone who's learned that even if someone gives like a god awful take about some drama, if you give them like a month or two, usually once the dust settles, it turns out that the take wasn't really as bad as everyone thought it was. So it's like I
people get so cutthroat when there's drama.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's
crazy.
Like one that sticks out to me especially was like during like the Colleen like all the Colleen stuff. And it was one of those things where like it started with everyone defending her, and it was like, oh, like yeah, like it makes like that was awful. And then as more and more information came out, it was like and then people were like
defend you.
And people were like being like, hey, I thought I was cool with Colleen, but then like this came out. Like I remember that was a very common tweet, was like, I'm sorry for defending Colleen, I didn't know that insert whatever most recent allegation just came out was real and not just like, because another thing to remember is that all these people have information that none of us will ever have access to. Even if they don't know them directly, they know someone who told them. And they're never going to say it on stream.
Right.
Like, but at the same time, I also feel weird about all of the people who, when stuff like this comes out, all come out of the woodwork and are like, well, I knew about this. And it's like, okay, but you didn't. So, okay. like when the Ned Fulmer thing happened, and when he cheated on his wife.
Oh yeah.
And then all of the ex-BuzzFeed employees were like, actually, they've had an unhappy actually, he's been like, and it's like, so you all knew this, and you all were like talking about it, but none of you told his wife?
Right. Yeah.
All of you knew this, and you all were talking about it, and now you all want to come out and be like, well, I knew.
It's like, well, then what did you do with that information?
Yeah.
Knowledge. Power.
Well, especially because people were like, well, I always knew that Ned was like a creep. And it's like, okay, but you were still like publicly interacting with him and all of that because you guys are all ex-BuzzFeed employees from the same era.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't want to be like, well, you're a hypocrite for not like exposing his affair, because that's not the internet's business. It isn't. But I think it's weird when something that awful happens, right? Because realistically, that's like a worst case scenario for everyone who was involved, for the Try Guys as a company, for Ned, for his wife, for his kids, for Alex, the girl that he was cheating with, for her fiance, like for everyone. It was the worst way it could have come out, which is publicly on Twitter.
Yeah.
So to then have all of the BuzzFeed people coming out and being like, well, you guys should have known because we always knew.
Right.
That's just icky. That's you trying to get your clicks because you wanted to put your 2 cents in about the Ned Fulmer situation, because now he's having the worst moment of his life broadcast. Because let's be honest, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Everyone in that situation had the worst moment of their lives broadcast for the entire internet and the world to see.
Yeah. Once they...
Because
SNL probably that must have been a fatal blow.
There was Rolling Stones articles, like it was insane. It was the first like real publicity the Try Guys had.
Yeah.
And it was because Ned cheated on his wife after being the wife guy for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that and then having so many ex-BuzzFeed employees immediate reaction to be tweeting out about how they knew Ned was creepy just left a disgusting... I unfollowed so many people that day because I was like, no, you're not going to be like, well, we all knew, because that's disgusting and it's weird and you're profiting off of this awful thing for so many people. Because how do you think Ariel feels about that? Seeing all of his ex-coworkers saying that he's had this pattern of behavior for years and no one told her.
Yeah.
Or if they did, they clearly didn't make it out to be what they think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then they're still just profiting off her tragedy.
I feel like with a lot of that, it's like they just have a hunch, and then when everything comes out, they're like, "Yeah, I fucking knew." And
it's confirmation bias.
But it's all just like in the first place, it was just like a hunch, like.
No, that was how I felt about all of the people that when it all came out, and they were like, "Well, I knew because Ned talks about his wife too much." No, you fucking didn't. We were all in the comments talking about how much we love that Ned talks about his wife, about how cute it was that he constantly mentions her.
There's something suspicious about that. That's crazy.
Like, no, it was. I do know some people that were legitimately suspicious about it, like some of my like interpersonal friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only say that I know that confidently because they told me that before it all came out. They told me, they're like, hey, it's weird that he talks about his wife all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe he just really likes her. And now we know that it's because he was compensating for the fact that apparently he didn't. Mm-hmm. Or at least he liked someone else more.
But the Mr. Beast drama, there's so many layers to the Mr. Beast drama.
Is.
There's his Beast Games show. There's like the illegal lotteries and shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's about to be a sexual assault.
I heard about.
So,
I saw that. Like I saw the beginnings of whisperings on it on Twitter before you walked in the door.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen anything concrete.
Because the guy who's been doing all this exposing, I think it's a 3-part. We're 2 down, 1 to go, and I think he's gonna go out with a fucking bang.
I hope so.
Well,
reality. No, I don't hope that it's anything awful. That sounded. I realized how bad that sounded right after I said it.
I hope that poor woman.
Yeah, no, I don't mean it like that. I mean it in a purely like, I hope that the final thing that he has isn't like a non-issue.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's so often that these things like, because I know that the sphere that Mr. Beast is stuck in right now, there's such a high chance that I don't know anything about this creator, so I don't want to like judge on there. Just based on the people who make videos about the Mr. Beast drama, the likelihood that 3rd video would just be about Ava Tyson.
Imagine.
You know what? That's what I mean.
I got my time to collect on the Ava Tyson situation.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like about like I hope it's something big and not like a rehash of something that we've already heard.
Nah, it'll be huge. I trust Dogpack 404. There will never be a Dogpack 404 situation. Watch how that ages.
Oh no, we're gonna. I can't wait for us to just dig ourselves into holes with this.
But the reality TV show one was so crazy. Even I made a video about it.
Oh yeah.
I made my own.
You
The
did.
Mr. Beast situation is crazy, and like, as I've been getting into content more, transitioning, it's been crazy how many people like truly cannot tell what the fuck I am.
I love that for
in
you.
gender. It's like insane. Where it's like, I feel like it's fairly obvious. Like
That's because you look at yourself every day.
I guess. Yeah. But I just feel like in general, with everyone having this like we can always tell mindset, it blows me away that they actually can't this time. That like I'm the one.
It's because
And
all
it's
those
like, what
people
does that mean
it's because
for,
all those
like,
people that say we can
my
always
legacy?
tell have no clue what they're actually talking about. They
Yeah.
can't. Because
I saw they're saying Dylan Mulvaney was born a female, transitioned to male,
and then
back.
because she's too feminine. Dude, she has feminine
fucking
her head to clavicle ratio. Okay, some shit like that. I think that was what I saw. Well, because they were looking at pictures of her when she was before her transition, when she was still in. I think it was pictures from Book of Mormon, which is really funny because I think she was only like in her early 20s. So she's just a twink.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all that is.
No, but I think it's really funny that you're so like certain that people would gender you. When I first met you, I had no clue. I had to wait to hear like what your pronouns were. That was why I don't know if you remember, but there was a day, for those who don't know, when Nolynn and I first met, we were in an introduction to motion capture performance class together. And there was one day that they came in to take photos, and it was you, me, and another guy that got partnered up together.
Yeah.
It was two of us, and then I remember because I pointed out,
And there will never be a situation about him.
Oh no, never has been, never will be. No 19-year-olds.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway,
they were taking pictures for the gram.
Yeah, so they were taking pictures, trying to show off, whatever stuff, cool classes
Whatever
you
the
can
hell
take.
Trevor's doing in the gymnasium.
Yeah, they were like, holy shit, he has fake knives in there. Because we all had fake knives. We were all doing, we all had to do a choreography that was based around a knife fight. It was actually really cool. I had so much fun doing that. But I remember they kept coming over and taking pictures of us, and I leaned over to Nolynn and I was like, do you think they keep taking pictures of us because we're two visibly queer people and a Latino guy?
It's like, yes, most diverse group.
Diversity.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I don't want to assume how she's queer.
Yeah.
I can just tell.
Sure.
Because I also, like, legitimately, I was like, I don't know what's going on gender, but I know this is not a cis het person. Like,
Yeah.
either you're trans or you're gay.
I don't know
Both.
what going into this year is gonna be like, because now I feel like I've leveled up a bit.
Yeah.
Grinded a bit over the summer, and especially like my hair, and I get like 19 compliments a day on my hair at work and shit.
Curly hair goes crazy, dude.
They just love it. They eat it up, and so I'm wondering how that will affect
It's because
my own social life.
because all of us
into the
bitches
next
with
year.
short with like fucking straight hair spend so long curling our hair,
Yeah.
and you bitches just straighten it. No, I talked about this with Shelby because she has really curly hair, but she has super long hair, super long, super curly, and she has a tighter curl pattern than you do. It's not like afro textured in any way, shape, or form, but it's like white people really curly. You know what I mean? So she's constantly complaining about it, and I've had to remind her. I'm like, Shelby, I used to wake up at 6 a.m. because I had the same because until college I had long straight hair like down to my lower back.
Yeah.
For the audience at home, for the audio listeners, I had hair that I could tuck into my waistband when I could tuck my head back and like comfortably tuck my hair into my waistband, and I kept it that way for years and forever. So I know, and my hair's super thick. Like I had one of those people that had like an inch across ponytail if I didn't get my hair thin. Like that's why I chop all my hair off now, is because I have so much of it if I don't. And I used to sit there and I would curl it. I would be doing overnight curls. I'd be doing braids. I'd be doing, dude, I slept on pin curls for like shows. Like I spent so long curling my hair because I had long straight hair.
Mm-hmm.
And she's constantly bitching about it. And I know it's because she has to take care of it. Like I know it's frustrating, annoying, and she has even more hair than I did. Like, and it's curly, but I keep being like, "You lucky bitch!
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't even know."
Yeah. Hair and shit.
But that's why I chop all mine off now.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of nervous about it because I mean, I don't know if I just told you. I just dropped this like 30 seconds before the podcast. I just started. Well, I didn't just start. I was just approached to join a musical in our area. A local theater troupe is doing Young Frankenstein, which is Mel
Brooks.
Mel Brooks, yeah. Sorry, for a split second, I was like, yeah, it's Mel Brooks, and then I was like, it's not Mel Brooks. Because for a split second, my brain was like, no, it's Mel Blanc, and I was like, no, that's the guy that did all of the Looney Tunes voices.
What happened there? Did they try to make the producers out of other Mel Brooks works?
What do you mean?
Like the producers, it was a 1967 movie, and then it was a 1999 musical. Did they try to do the same thing with other Mel Brooks works?
Oh yeah, a lot of Mel Brooks works are musicals now. He's the one that made them into musicals.
I guess
Mel Brooks loves a musical.
Yeah.
No,
Gotta be an EGOT somehow.
Yeah. So but they needed more people for the ensemble, and the person that's doing the choreographer for that show is a high school friend of mine. So she texted me and she was like, hey, do you want to like join the ensemble? We just need some more bodies. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like she told me what the rehearsal schedule is gonna look like. I have to email the director today about it. But I just remembered that I have very short bleached hair. So I realized I should probably send in a headshot when I email this director to be like, hey, here's my acting resume and here's my headshot if you would like them, so that you kind of know who's in your ensemble. But it's nice, like, because my friend that's a choreographer, her name's Lexi. And her and I have known each other. We've known each other since middle school. Like we did theater together in middle school, and then we did musicals in high school. And then after high school, we weren't like friends, but we kind of reconnected after there was some very large drama in the local theater community. In my hometown, one of the theater directors, and like the guy that makes that for my entire life has done the most like high budget shows in the area, got basically exposed for something that's been kind of an open secret around here for years of being not super nice to the students that he was teaching. I'll put it that way. So after that, her and I reconnected, and now I get to use my connections to my advantage.
There you go.
Like I always have anyway. I have lots of friends in the theater scene, and this is going to sound bad, but you know how often I get texted to be in ensembles?
How many I have to turn down?
Yeah, I have to turn down so many ensembles. No, I didn't have time. I was worried about going to audition because I haven't done a show since 2020.
Sure.
The last show I did was my show that got canceled by COVID. Or the second half of my run got canceled because we were a 2-weekend show. Right. Which is crazy to think about now. That like I did a weekend of shows, and then during the week it went from there's rumors that we might have to post, like we might have to wait.
It accelerated so fast.
By the end of the week, not only was the show being like the show was closed, we weren't going to be able to do it. Originally, we were going to do it in June. We were just gonna, because it was March, so we were like, oh, we'll wait until the end of the semester and then we'll do it then. And then obviously we couldn't. But it by the end of the week, it had gone from like, oh, we might like keep your ears out, we might have to like take a show off, to you guys have an extra 2 weeks of spring break while we figure out how to do the rest of the semester online.
It was always
that was insane.
You get 2 more weeks on spring break. That was crazy.
I should have, and it's so crazy. I was just talking about this with like Ace yesterday because I was re-listening to Inside, because I watched Inside when it first came out on Netflix. Like when Bo Burnham, I've been a Bo Burnham fan for years. I love Bo. And so I was re-listening to that, and I like just kind of looked over at him, and I was like, isn't it so weird how like even though we've returned to normal, like it's so entirely different from 2019.
Yeah, something about it.
Well, because like
We were fearless back then.
well, it's also like realistically, like the pandemic isn't over. There's still COVID everywhere. I honestly think that we should still be masking, but
It's so funny how not serious they take COVID now. It's like my family member had it. It's like, all right, come to
Yeah.
work. Mask up if you want.
or you don't even get any time off for COVID anymore.
Yeah, that's great. And you used to get like 14 days.
Yeah, you used to
Minimum.
have a mandatory 14 days, and then you tested to see if you could go back to work. I remember because I was so pissed off because I got COVID. Do you remember in like March of 2021 when the first round of vaccines were coming out?
Yeah.
That was when I got COVID for the first time.
That's like when I got chicken pox, like 7 days before I was gonna get the vaccine,
Damn.
and I was 3.
Now you can get shingles.
I had shingles.
You had shingles?
at 14.
Oh my God.
And they were like in my fingernails and shit.
My grandma had shingles.
Yeah, it's
like
fucking awful.
just a little bit ago. Like not a little ago. Honestly, you guys probably had shingles around the same time. Now that I think
It
about
was
it.
yeah, it was like October 2019.
Yeah, that makes. I think no, it was a little later for my grandma.
It was insane, man. Because I just had a weird bump on my arm, and I'm like, I want to get this checked out. My parents are like, nope, and I'm like, okay. And so then I sent a picture in some family group chat, and then eventually my mom caved, and she was like, it's like bubbling like that. We should get that checked out. And lo and behold, it was shingles. And then right when I was finally done with shingles, I got strep throat and mono at the same time. I was scared that like I was low-key gonna become one of those people who's just always like with the.
I think your parents. Did you ever have to read The Velveteen Rabbit as a kid?
It sounds familiar.
So it's the book about about this little velveteen rabbit that becomes real through love. Like, and it's about how, like, if you love some, because it's actually about a little boy that has to burn all of his toys because he gets scarlet fever.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to burn all of his toys, and then the Velveteen Rabbit is able to escape and goes and becomes a real rabbit and then comes back.
Okay.
I think your parents should have done that for you.
But yeah.
They should have scarlet fevered your ass. Just burn it all, then you can't get sick again.
But it was great. I really thought I was gonna be one of those people who's just like always sick all the time. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
today my kidney hurts, you know.
Oh my God, you were gonna be me.
Exactly. But I'm good now. I don't have a lot of random pain like that.
You're so lucky.
I do have a bladder infection right now, I think.
Oh, that's so much fun.
It's the way I describe it is it's if I'm not on track to have 80 ounces of water by the end of the day, peeing hurts a lot. So it's like I don't need to have
some cranberry juice.
I don't need to have like 40 ounces of water at 8 a.m. It's like, no, as long as I'm on track to have 80 ounces by like 8 p.m., then peeing feels fine.
You should probably go to the doctor.
I did. I'm on antibiotics
Okay,
now.
good.
But it was crazy because it's so painful.
See, I used to have that problem, and then I had it enough that they sent me to the urologist, and then they told me that my bladder doesn't work right. So, turns out I have so much anxiety, my bladder doesn't relax all the way.
Interesting.
And I'm not even kidding. That's why I'm constantly drinking water, is because if I don't, then I just don't pee all the way, and then I get another UTI. It's so much fun. It's better than my mom, though. My mom just gets she's one of those people where if she has a UTI, she has a bladder infection.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets UTIs a lot because she's a woman. Women get them a lot. It sucks. You have to pee after everything, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just sex. Like, you go in the pool, you gotta pee, or else you're gonna get a UTI.
Flush it out.
Gotta flush that shit out. I don't know if you
Yeah.
actually have to, but I do because I've chronic bladder issues.
Sure.
Crazy how being chronically ill makes you do things.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I had mono. I had like a fever of 103, and it
I've
was
never had
on
mono.
what?
I've never had mono.
It just, I mean, as they say, it just makes you super tired, and it made my skin way more sensitive to like when you like scratch yourself and it like shows more.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't. Oh, and then I got covered in spots.
Yeah.
Absolutely covered in spots.
That was
But
a
anyway.
chicken pox coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, some shingles, you name it. But I was like, it was Thanksgiving night, and so this was back when.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so my mom was the general manager of the Walmart in here, and so that was back when Black Friday was like Wednesday night and Thursday and Friday.
Back when Black
So
Friday
it's-
was still good.
Yeah, it's like the one time she couldn't like be there, and so my grandma had to take me to the emergency room. Gotta be emergency room. on Thanksgiving night. And and then this was
I also went to the emergency room on Thanksgiving, but
it's a vibe.
Yeah, I had to go because that was when I had my first flare up. my first ever flare up was around Thanksgiving, and I remember I felt so fucking bad. Because I was scheduled to work, and you know it's a required holiday, and I had to show up and be like, I'm legally not supposed to work I'm legally not supposed to work right now while they wait for my culture results back.
Yeah.
Like, you guys will actually get a fine if they know that I'm here right now. Well, because, you know, when you're like stomach sick, legally you're not supposed to work in food service if you're stomach sick at all. If you have diarrhea, if you're vomiting, whatever. Of course, not to break it to the FDA, but no one fucking listens to that in restaurants.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's like you're already short-staffed enough. You're already scheduling, like min-maxing labor as much as you can. It's like, all right, well, let's send someone home.
Well, yeah, and even the employees themselves, like half the time they don't want to go home. Like, they need to work.
That's true.
Like, do you know how many servers I knew that would come in and I would be like, you need to go home? And they would get, like, because I was a shift lead, and they would argue with me about it. And I'd be like, I have watched you run to the bathroom 3 times since you got here. You clocked in an hour ago. You're serving food.
Right.
You're like, I am not going to be having you give out foodborne pathogens. Because I was one of those people where I always called in when I was sick. My managers hated that I did that because they couldn't argue with me about it because they knew that I was right.
Right.
Because they knew if there was a recording of me going, I'm throwing up right now, I can't come in today, and them going, well, are you sure? Lawsuit.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go.
legitimately.
Okay.
And like it's a thing. They, especially if someone got sick and they decided to investigate the restaurant, and then they had on camera that I'm leaning over and throwing up into a trash can every 20 minutes. Like,
Lawsuit.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued.
I love like finding a little law like that and then like just knowing it, because like I was at the movie theater in my city, and they have like this weird system where you need to like push a button to like open the door, but it's a panic bar, and it's illegal to have panic bars that you need special knowledge to operate. So I sent a little voicemail to the fire department, and I'm like, they have illegal panic bars. So I don't know if that got fixed, but like,
no, but
it was just insane.
That's a safety hazard.
Yeah,
it
was
is.
like the 2 exit doors on the end too. Like I just couldn't open them. And it's like, it's kind of like, I'm sure if I did some digging and found how to open them, I could have. But the whole point of panic bars is that it's not like that.
Yeah, the whole point is that it needs to be an accessible emergency exit.
Because if people are trapped in there in like a fire or like any emergency, oh my God, lawsuits.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh my God.
No, I never felt bad about calling in when I felt sick, but I did feel bad about specifically doing it on Thanksgiving because I know how busy it is. But also, I also know how overstaffed we are on Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving it's a mandatory holiday, so everyone is there. But it also means that everyone is there.
Yeah.
So like, that's why like servers at my Cracker Barrel hate holidays, because either you work the morning shift where you get at most 3 tables, everyone wants to sit there, you leave with $50, or you have the night shift where you have 20 tables, but no one comes in because everyone's with their families. So it's like, okay, either I come in and I make no money, but it sucks and it's like busy and everyone's mad at me, or I come in late and I make no money, but I'm sitting around doing nothing when I could be with my family. I think that restaurants should just be closed on holidays.
Honestly.
I fully believe that.
I think Firehouse Subs, no, they close at like 8 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I don't fully remember.
Cracker Barrel did close. We did close for Christmas. That was the only holiday we closed for.
Right.
We closed at 3 p.m. we closed at 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and then we reopened at 6 a.m. on December 26th. It is the only day that we are closed. Right. I still say we like I've worked there in the past.
I'm gonna week after week.
I'm gonna do that forever, dude.
Yeah.
Until I actually start teaching, like in the fall, I'm gonna keep doing that. Or substitute teaching. I am. Wait, is this putting me on the substitute teaching to really popular pipeline like Germa and like the Dare?
It just may.
I hope so.
But what was I saying? Oh,
I'm
like
sorry.
The movie theater holiday pattern is so weird.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, it's not just like how are people going out like on holidays, but it's like who's making like the 2-hour commitment to go see a movie around the holidays. And so it'll be like obviously really dead Christmas Eve, really dead like like New Year's Eve. It's so there's like New Year's Eve, and then it's like Christmas morning versus like Christmas night. And like I don't exactly remember like the exact pattern of like when it's busy, when it's not. But it's so polar opposite because it's like the way we celebrate.
Pissed me off when I was working on a holiday, and some motherfucker would look at me and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they have you working on Thanksgiving. Why would they have you working on Thanksgiving?"
Basically said because you're here so loud that the microphone shattered into, I think it was like 498,000 pieces. There was like a rift that spawned. Huge like gargoyle we had to fight. It was fucked up. Anyway, so if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, we actually vlogged the whole thing there. But Jess was just saying that she's pissed that people come to the restaurant and say, "Oh, it's so sad you're working today." And it's like, yep, you're the one fueling why I have to be working today. So anyway, back to the episode after we reformed the microphone and defeated the gargoyle. I still have scars from that fight. Yeah.
Go home.
It's like if we all as a society didn't go to the restaurants and the movie theaters on the holidays, then we would have off.
I think that's going to be the loudest mic peak I've done in this fight.
It just may be.
That was a lot. I'm very sorry. I just really... No, but that genuinely used to piss me off so bad.
Yeah.
Because I know if we weren't busy on holidays, we wouldn't be open. But Thanksgiving's our busiest day of the year. Because everyone stops while they're traveling because they want to stop for breakfast on their way to grandma's house and they want a big breakfast. Everyone's going to meet at Cracker Barrel. Let's have 6 tables of 12 out in the dining room because that's what everyone wants to walk around.
Yeah.
And then they're all needy because they want it to be perfect because it's a holiday. And it's like, go home. Yeah. You want a perfect breakfast? Go home and make it. Make memories. Instead of sitting at a Cracker Barrel bitching at me because it's taking 20 minutes for your pancakes. Yeah, and it's going to be another 20. It's Thanksgiving. We had a reduced menu because it was so bad.
That's crazy.
Not to mention that we offered catered Thanksgiving meals. Heat and serve and like fresh. So you could either come up and just like pick up 13 to go turkey orders. People had been placing orders for months for hams and turkeys and stuff to take home and heat up. So we were also working out of both sides of the building. It sucked. It sucked so bad. I hated it every year. I always fought for to-goes because at least I was making hourly. Because the way that they handled to-goes was they would keep track of who was working catering to-goes and who was working like drive-up to-goes, which was the little like individual meals versus catering to-goes, which was the giant boxes of like heat and serve like ham and hash brown casserole and green beans and like all that stuff. They would just keep track of the tips that went where and who all was working each one, and then you would come in like a week later and they would give you your portion based on what job you were doing and what like they would just count it up and divvy it up how they felt was fair. Like it's the only time we ever had like a tip out because it was just easier than trying to keep track of like. Well, considering usually I was never on catering to goes. I was always on like I said, we just called them drive-through to goes because we just had people pull up and you couldn't pick sides. You pulled up, you told us how many meals you wanted. We got that many plated for you. So it would usually be 2 people out there doing that and then 2 people inside just dishing up. And there was one year that I was flip-flopping because for some reason I got fucked over and got scheduled 11 to 7 to goes on Thanksgiving. And it sucks because I know exactly how it's because I was 19 and I told them I'd be able to if they needed me to. I made the mistake.
It's always that.
Well, it's because I felt bad because I everyone else that I was working with had kids. In my portion. So I was like, you know what? If you need someone to be here for the mid, I offered to be the mid. And they were like, yeah, okay. And they decided to make that a full 8-hour shift. I was like, thanks. But so because I was doing like all of that, I ended up making on top of my hourly that I was making, which I think at the time for to-goes, I was making like $9.50 some at most. And then tips on top of that, I ended up with like $80. And then someone else, like I counted mine in front of someone and they looked down there and they like, I could tell that they were counting with me and whatever. And they looked over and they're like, well, how come you got 80? I only got 40. And I was like, how long were you there? And she's like, 10 to 2. I'm like,
You're like, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what I just said I was scheduled? And they were like, oh, well, you got double. I was like, I just made $10 an hour doing that. Like, and that, like, I have, that was one of the things that I had to, like, explain to a lot of, like, newer servers was, like, it feels like a lot of money, but you have to break it down by, like, hourly to decide if it's worth it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, like I said, I didn't mind that because at least I was making that, like, $10 an hour, but I was also making the $9 of just, like, straight hourly that was already on my check, you know?
Right.
Versus when I'm serving and I'm making $2.15 an hour, but still only making $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had to, like, remind people of that at Crackerville, where I'd be like, you have to remember to split your tips. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I made really good money because it was really slow all day, and then I'm like, right at the end I made $100. I'm like, yeah, but you've been here for 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you were only making $10 an hour. Did you do $10 an hour worth of work? And that was another reason why the managers didn't like me.
You got all the Cracker Barrel psychology down.
See, the problem is that I grew up in a restaurant family, right? So I wasn't going into Cracker Barrel as a 16-year-old who didn't know anything about. I was going in as a 16-year-old whose parents had met managing another breakfast place.
Right.
So I had been, like, raised being told what to expect from restaurant employers, because it was kind of assumed that I would go into restaurant work right away, because I did. Because of course I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I was raised being taught what to expect and what is and isn't proper treatment, especially from my mom, who was the one that stayed in food service until she couldn't work anymore. Like, my dad left food service when I entered school because he wanted to be able to, you know, take me to school, pick me up, whatever. But because I wasn't living with my mom, she stayed in food service until she had to go on a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always knew how I should be treated, what my rights were, what the expectations should and shouldn't be. Like, managers hated that I knew how I was supposed to be treated, because a lot of the people that went in there didn't.
Yeah, it is crazy. And then some people who do know the shit, but then they're not going to, like, enforce it.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, I know this is illegal, but.
I know lots of people like that are still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I am one of those people, one of my most hater traits, I have so little sympathy for people who refuse to fix a situation. Mm-hmm. If you sit there and bitch and bitch and bitch to me about like your work schedule and how hard they're working you and all this, and then if I ask you if you talk to your managers about it and you go, well, I don't really, no. Did you talk to your managers about it? No. Then they're not going to fix it. Don't bitch.
Wow.
Do not come and complain to me if you're not going to fix it. Like, I'm being so for real. But that's like exclusively about work, because I know there's a difference between I can't and I won't, right? Because there's a difference between I tried talking to my managers about it and nothing's changing, and I'm like, oh, well, that's shitty, I'm sorry, versus I haven't even mentioned it to my managers. It's like, so you're just going to sit here and complain while they schedule you? Like, they're not going to do anything. And if they know you're unhappy and they keep scheduling you like that, then you need to either give them an ultimatum or leave. Mm-hmm. Because I also don't understand staying in a place where you're being disrespected when I know you have the capability to leave.
Yeah.
Because it's always people that I know don't need this job that badly. Like, I know you could find another job that pays you so much better and would treat you better. But no, we're going to sit here.
And when complain about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jobs and
I
shit.
feel like that's true about, like, most restaurants. I feel like it's just full of a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm. The turnover at Firehouse was pretty high.
That's true of all.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I think the restaurant industry, I know the restaurant industry has the highest turnover rate of any other industry. I believe restaurants are also one of the only industries that have a turnover rate of over 100%, which is really funny to me. And I know Crackerville's turnover rate went up way higher right before I left, because I know a lot of people that have told me since then that they're either planning on leaving or have already left. And I'm like, oh.
It's crazy. What does a company do to itself?
Elect the most stupid managers possible.
Yeah. What else is new? Shit. Because I had a whole last week. I liked my mini episode.
What was your mini
It'll
episode
come out
about?
someday. I did it in my car. Had my blueberry pomegranate lemonade from Wendy's. Mention
course.
number 2. And it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I really liked recording my mini-sode.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have another mini-sode next week.
Next week.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be in the Dells.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on vacation.
There you go.
Last week I was
find a
working.
Hawk Tuah hoodie for us.
I will, and I'll wear it. No, yeah, last week I was working VBS at my church, Vacation Bible School.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not able to be here.
Yeah.
I thought when my alarm to wake up for this went off, I was in the middle of the Bible. Now that's the book for me. It's just a song that we sing. I wasn't even singing it with the whole group, which is really funny. I was singing it with like a smaller group that I was leading.
Yeah. And then, so as I got into this space, there were people using it, which shouldn't be a thing. I don't know if they went through our guy. I don't know why they were in here. Our guy. Our guy. He works for us. I don't know why they were in here, but they were. I just let them continue having the space. They had a whole ass piano and a MacBook. And I'm like, whatever's going on here, clearly it's important. I can do my episode. Like, if it was both of us, I'd probably try to kick them out. But it's like, I'm not going to say, I need this space more than you, even though it is our time, and just to sit here and stare into the camera.
Well, because it's not just like our space or like our guy's space.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like a public space on our on a public university campus.
Yeah. But
So
like, I don't know. It is like 11 to 2-ish is our time. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then I send Jessi a voice memo, and I'm just going off because I'm like still kind of heated about it. And then I say, and then follow-up message say, contains swearing if you're around children.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and it was really funny because I like, you happened to send it just as I was like going into lunch
right
with the kids, so I was able to hide because luckily that was also the day that we had we got spoiled that day. They brought us Elaine's chicken fingers, and I was so excited. I love Elaine's chicken fingers with a little bit of Elaine sauce. So good. So when you sent me that, I was sitting at like a round table with like 3 or 4 of the kids that I work with, and they're all very sweet. They were all sitting there chatting with me, whatever. And I realized that, and I really wanted to listen to it, so I got up and I went and I listened to it, and I came back. And I was like texting you back while I'm doing, because we're allowed to have our phones out while we're eating lunch with the kids. The kids aren't allowed to, but we're allowed to have them out because we can, half the time we're just showing them stuff anyway, you know? And they were like, oh, did Ace text you? Like, because they all know who Ace is.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I just got like a message from a friend. And I had to go and listen to it really quick. And they were like, are you in trouble?
The way kid mind works is so funny.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
no. And
you're either
then,
talking to your boyfriend or you're in danger.
Yeah, or I'm in trouble. Well, because I think they assumed that like my dad must have called me then or something like that. And they were like, are you in trouble? And I was like, no. And they were like, are they in trouble? Do you have to go? I was like, no. I love these kids, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
well,
awesome.
they're so funny, especially because so many of them I see like every week at Sunday school, and I know their families. So they'll like, this is gonna sound really, so my great uncle Mike passed away recently, and he was like a pillar in the church. Like he was huge at my church. Like my whole family's like very entrenched in my church, but Mike especially. And when he died, he was very close friends with and as far as we know, I think they might have technically been dating, but they're both old, so old people are weird about that. But some of the girls that I teach, their grandma was they called each other adventure buddies. They were best friends. It was very cute. It got Mike out of the house a lot more. Like we were just, it was cool. And so I thought it was like a little funny that I had to get used to the fact that they would come up to me and they would just give me updates about my Uncle Mike, because they see their grandma more often than I see my great Uncle Mike. Right. So they'd come up and they'd be like, so have you talked to your Uncle Mike recently? And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, do you want us to tell you? I'd be like, yes. And it'd always be like nothing. But I remember when he passed away, they came up to me and they were like, did you know that your Uncle Mike died? And I was like, yeah, I know. Because we were some of the first people to get the call. Because I live with my grandma. Yeah. And this isn't her brother, but it's my grandpa's brother. My grandpa's brother, Mike. And so and he's always like, ever since my grandpa died, Mike looked after my grandma. So like I said, we were like one of the first people that got called. But to have these like, if I remember correctly, they are 10 and 7 coming up to me going, "Did you know that your Uncle Mike died?" And they
They're
like
"We
held
have
my
to-
hand.
We have
I was
to break
like,
the news to you.
and I was like, "No, I knew." And they were like, "We're gonna be at the funeral," because we did like a funeral right after. The way that Mike wanted his it wasn't really a funeral. Well, he didn't want it to be a funeral. We made it a funeral because he just wanted everyone to get together for a family reunion in his honor.
Yeah.
And then we added a service at the beginning.
Oops. How'd that get in there?
Yeah, because it was really funny because what he did was he rented out the church for it, right? He rented out the church for the family reunion and then told everyone, if I don't make it that long, just put my picture at the front and make it a celebration of life. Because he knew he was like, he was old, he had cancer, like he'd had a lot of health issues for his entire life. Like, it's just, once you reach a certain age, you're just kind of like, yeah, I'll plan my death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, so I'm going to plan this, and either it'll be a last hurrah for me, or you guys can all get together and celebrate. And unfortunately, we came together to celebrate his life instead of celebrating with him. But it was kind of funny having so many of the kids that I worked with who had to go because their parents knew Mike.
Yeah.
Being like, we have to go to the celebration after this. And I'd be like, yeah, I know, I'll be there too. And they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, that's my great uncle Mike. And they'd be like, what? Because they know that I'm related to my dad. That's it.
Sure.
That's all they really.
That's it.
That's all that matters.
That's all you need.
Well, yeah, because they hear me call him dad.
Yeah.
So that's.
Right.
But he was always Mike. But they don't understand that the reason why I go over and give a hug and a kiss to Mike every Sunday is because he's my great uncle.
Right.
Like, they were just like, yeah, we're church. That's what we do. We greet each other.
It is crazy how uncles and aunts get great so quick. It's like to have like a great grandma or great grandpa, that's like so old and high up. But I feel like great aunts and uncles kind of cheat at that. They're just
Ace and I are great. Ace and I are a great aunt and great uncle.
the fuck.
Yeah, have I not told you that?
No.
So, I'm not technically a great aunt yet because I will be by marriage. But realistically, I am because all the kids know me. So Ace's oldest sister they have a super large age gap. They have 15-year age gap. So his oldest niece is a year younger than me.
Right.
So she has a kid.
Yeah.
And now her younger brother, like the next oldest, his girlfriend's pregnant. And the oldest is pregnant again. So they're it's kind of funny. They're actually both of our great the new great niece and or nephew, that we're going to have. They're both due within like a month of each other.
Wow.
So, but luckily, they're all I think the older boy still lives there, but I know the oldest girl is moved out on her own because she lives with like her fiance and their kid, and now they're gonna have their other kid there. But it's like it's really funny knowing that like Ace and I are technically a great aunt and a great uncle now.
That's insane. Yeah.
Just how it works.
Yeah. My family is like everyone talks about all like their cousins and shit. Like I hardly have any of that. Like I just have like one cousin and she's like
I'm the
8 or
youngest
10
cousin.
maybe. And I guess I have like some more distant family, like second cousin twice removed and all that shit. But I don't know. It's not the same. Like just like the age range. Like I never had like cousins my age.
Yeah, I don't. All of my cousins are either older than me or like younger. I'm like in the like an awkward in between. Like because I ran the issue of my dad is the youngest son of his four siblings. No, he has 3 siblings. There are 4 siblings total. Sorry, I can't do math in my head. No, but so it's all that. But besides my dad, my aunt is the only other one that has kids, and both of her boys are 10 years older than me, at least. I don't remember exactly how much older they are, but I think one of them is I think they're both at least 15 years older than me now that I'm doing like the math in my head for how, because I remember I don't remember the older one's graduation party. I remember the younger one's graduation party, and I was a kid for that. So like, and now they both have kids of their own, but all of their kids are younger than me because I was born right around the time they were both getting out of high school.
Right.
So I'm just old enough. I'm just young enough that I can't really hang out with them or relate to them, but I'm also just old enough that I also can't hang out with their kids.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that's how it is with like, and then like the rest of my family, it's all like more extended. It's all like second cousins, like past that.
Yeah.
And this is gonna sound bad. I didn't have any siblings, so I didn't get along with my cousins as well because I was an only child.
Yeah.
So when I was plopped into like a family reunion, I didn't gravitate over to the kids. I gravitated over to the adults, and I sat in a circle with the adults and talked about that, you know, with the other like 3 only children in my family, because most kids in my family have at least one sibling.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the odd man out.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of felt at our AMC party last night. Like I just didn't really have like, I don't know. I felt so isolated. And
because you're young.
Yeah. Well, no, but there's a lot of people like my age around me there, and like, I don't know. I kept wanting to turn to I never did it, but I wanted to turn to someone and go, "Do you think history will forget you?" Like it just, I don't know. I said it as I ate the blazing, or not blazing, but the 10 out of 10 Hot Ones wing. But I just wanted to stare into someone's soul and say that.
I love doing like off-putting shit like that.
Yeah.
I love being a little off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. We've just been going. I just actually looked at the clock for the first time.
Damn.
We're at almost an hour and a half.
Wow.
I love that for us. Good luck editing this.
Not good. Wait, what's it? It would still be good luck. I'm like, how do we phrase this in a way like it already happened?
Not
Good luck. Say I had a good time editing it.
Yeah.
Speak in future tense.
There you go.
Or past tense.
Yeah, I'm so glad you had a good time editing down.
I did.
What for the viewers at home, for comparison's sake, right now we're about an hour 25, so that you guys can find out how much Nolynn cut out of our podcast this week.
I don't think we even had any bleeps.
Maybe not. I think we might have made it through this time. I think I finally figured it out.
There you go.
It only took me almost 10. Is this episode 10? I think this is episode 10, isn't it?
It gets so confusing whether or not
recording episode 10,
those
I guess.
Episodes are ever going to be public.
We'll see. We'll see. We sometimes in life you need to take a little break.
The main thing was this stupid glitch where it replaced the audio with the audio from a former episode.
Oh yeah.
When I get thrown off like that, it's so hard for me to get back on because
I forgot that was what started all of this.
I'm annoyed.
That sounded really bad. I'm
so
sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. But like when something like that happens, I get so thrown off, and it's like I'm mad at my MacBook, so I don't want to edit on there. I can't edit on my PC because it's just too slow, and then I'm stuck in this loop. And then it's like we're recording episodes every week, and it's like, all right, the episode I haven't been recording for weeks is just slipping away. But it's like, do I edit these ones? And I fall into a whole thing. But I really like my mini episode, and I really like this episode, so I'll bump those up in the priority and just get something out.
I don't know. Maybe we can edit those out, and then we can do the other ones as one giant long episode. That's our I'm sorry we're sorry for not uploading special.
Yeah.
Where it's just all of them like Frankenstein together.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's not the worst plan.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Maybe you can just pull out the good parts of all of them. Make it a highlight reel.
Highlights. Make it our channel trailer when people click it.
We need to make a channel trailer.
We do.
We should. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. We've got lots of maybes and should-haves.
We should do like a skit for it though, not just like welcome to And They Were Classmates. On this podcast, we discuss like we should actually like make it funny and shit.
Yeah, we can do that. We can talk about it more once we get more back in the groove of it.
Yeah.
Summer's throwing us off. I think
I think when I have like a school schedule to stick by, and then it's like we're recording like Tuesday or like Wednesday night or some shit, like that'll make it better.
Yeah, we are gonna have to adjust our schedule when school starts because I'm going to be working during the day. Not every day though, because the nice part of the reason why I picked substitute teaching is that the way that substitute teaching works in the district that I want to work in is it's pretty much pick your own days. You kind of just get a list of like you don't get to like pick and choose, but you can kind of be like, hey, I want to work at like these schools on these days. I want to work with these grade levels.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they need so much help all the time, because a lot of people can only be there like a couple days a week.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that are substitute teaching on top of like other jobs.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it because am genuinely Peggy Hill maxing. I was joking to my friend about that. I was like, because it's such like a 90s thing to be like a stay-at-home mom that is a substitute teacher specifically. Like, so that's why I keep being like, I'm Peggy Hill maxing, because that's what she does. You've seen King of the Hill.
When do they open, or when do they close these doors? Do you know?
I think campus closes at 8 p.m.
Okay. There's some time in there.
Something like that. Yeah, no, we have plenty of time. Because you have to remember, there's classes that go on here until 6 p.m.
That's true.
So, like, and honestly, I probably will only work like 2 days a week.
Yeah. Acting like, oh, we're so busy.
Yeah, no, I'm
going to have to
work.
record at 6:30 p.m. It's the only time.
Oh, my God.
And that's every
Jesus.
single day of the week.
Oh, no, we might have to record some episodes at home with my nice Yeti snowball that I just spent $20 on Facebook Marketplace for.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Facebook Marketplace for real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely looking for another monitor, because if I can get another monitor, I might stream. Because I swear to God, I meant it when I said I was going to record YouTube videos, and I have recorded them. I just deleted them because they were bad.
Sure.
I've genuinely recorded like 6 videos that I've then deleted because I was like, no, this is bad and I'm not funny.
Yeah. It's good to get in the flow of posting them, but I completely understand. Especially because, like, I feel like a couple years ago, it was like, well, no one's going to see it. Now the YouTube algorithm is really good at giving you, like, this has 31 views.
Yeah, I
you.
constantly get videos. I really love, I've been getting specifically recommended this one specific person that plays Animal Crossing. They have a 2,000 part daily Animal Crossing series, and they have like 100 subscribers.
Wow.
I'm like none of their videos have over 1,000 views. I was like,
interesting.
I'm not even clowning. I'm genuinely like, wow, the love of the game.
Yeah, literally.
Daily Animal Crossing uploads.
For essentially, I mean, there's like a small community, but like essentially in the grand scheme, like no one.
Yeah.
know.
Well, especially because it's New Horizons. So that community has kind of.
Is that 3DS?
No, New Horizons is the one that just came out on Switch. But
Oh,
a lot of people don't play New Horizons anymore because it doesn't have the longevity that New Leaf had. It really doesn't. And I'm saying this as a lifelong like Animal Crossing fan. I've played Animal Crossing. I've played every Animal Crossing game that's come out, except for the one on GameCube because I didn't have a GameCube.
Sure.
But I played Wild World, City Folk, like all of them. So I'm speaking as an expert when I say that New Horizons could have been a lot better. It was still really good, and I still play it a lot, and I love it. But compared to New Leaf, it didn't have the staying power. It didn't have as much to do. So the fact that this person, I don't actually know exactly how many days it was. It's however many days it's been since the day that Animal Crossing New Horizons came out.
Wow.
Because
That's crazy.
Because you have to remember, 2,000 days is like 4 years almost.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
that's our damned age gap.
Yeah. Well, see, I started playing Animal Crossing New Horizons day one because I don't know if I've told you this. I actually pre-ordered it through GameStop because I love having physical copies of games.
Sure.
Especially now that Ace and I are sharing. Now that Ace and I have 2 Switches, I like having physical copies of Switch games so we can both have them.
That's fair.
That way we don't have to buy them twice. Can't afford that. And but while we were doing that, you know, obviously COVID happened and everything locked down. The GameStop was closed.
Oh, so you couldn't get your physical.
The GameStop in my town was closed. It was because it's in the mall.
Yeah.
But the GameStop in your town is in a strip mall.
It's true.
So I called that GameStop and I was like, "Hey, I have a hold at the Janesville GameStop for Animal Crossing New Horizons."
And there's our bleep. Look what you've done.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you're fine.
I have a hold like at this other GameStop. Like, can you please do you have enough copies I can come pick it up? And they were like, if you can get here in like an hour. I was like, I'll be there. Yeah, easy.
I don't even need
drive.
Interstate to get there in an hour.
Exactly. So we drove down there so fast and we picked it up. And I remember it was so funny because when I was like on the phone, like it was one of those like I was freaking out because I really wanted the game. I wanted day one. I had avoided like watching trailers and everything for it. Like I wanted to go in blind. So I did not want to miss day one. So I finally went so when I found out that the GameStop wasn't opening in time, I was literally like sobbing to Ace. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to play like whatever. And then he was like, we could call it below. And I was like, you're right. Like I like locked in.
It all makes sense.
And then it was extra fun because then we remembered, we got suddenly slapped with a reminder that technically his, whatever it's called, the GameStop account, Gamer Pro or whatever it's called.
Hold up.
You
This
know
is
what I'm
in my
talking
brain. Hold up. We can't proceed. The fuck do they call it? Literally just like Elite and Pro. Remember GameStop Elite?
Yeah, something like that.
Is that it?
But, we still have the physical card and everything.
sick.
Like, yeah. So we went in, and when we were doing that, they were like, so this is Ace's mom? And we were like, what? Because they said her name. And they were like, and we were like, and I was like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were like, yeah, can you confirm your date of birth for me? Because I just need to confirm like information to make sure that it was actually someone
Sure.
trying to trans. So I had to like, what's your mom's birthday?
Wow.
I think it was just because they were getting like calls about it, like so many calls about it. Because like I know for sure I wasn't the only person that was freaking out like that.
Yeah, the 2020 GameStop staff are goats. Me and my brother, we're in walking distance of that GameStop.
Oh yeah, you
So
are.
we would just go there all the time and buy Fortnite V-Buck card. We would literally just go with no intent to no intent of like what we're going to buy, but we wanted to buy something.
Oh yeah,
It was insane.
I love
honestly.
shopping like that.
And I had like the 15 or 20 a year pro membership, and it was sick. Honestly, it's not the same now, and now we have cars, so we just drive everywhere. But it was so fun, and we're planning on buying the next Fortnite Battle Pass. We're just gonna buy Tier 100.
Yeah.
Gonna bite the bullet, and I'm thinking we should walk to GameStop and buy the $100 V-Buck card, even though it's a little humiliating to do that at 19. It's like it's just like
it's like fun.
yeah, it's still fun.
Plus what are they gonna say at the GameStop?
Yeah, it's not for me. It's less what are they gonna say, and more like what are they gonna go on and like think. Not that like I actually have a big insecurity about it, but like it. I know that employee goes home and said, "There's a fucking 19-year-old tranny in here buying V-Bucks. Like buy them on your computer." And like I know how that goes.
I can't wait. I think it's really funny. Sometimes I like pick up V-Bucks while I'm out instead of like going home and buying them, just because like I'm like, I can just pick up a card while I'm out, instead of going home and waiting for and getting like a million emails from fucking Nintendo eShop.
Oh yeah, because
when you make any purchase, it's like funds added to your account and purchase made. Funds added to your account and purchase made.
that one's crazy. It's like, why even do the funds thing if there's an option to only do the required amount?
Yeah, I know why. It's because they want people to be able to load it for their kids.
Oh, okay.
Because the idea is that way, if you have like a family console, right? Like if everyone's sharing the Switch,
Yeah.
$100, you guys split that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can only spend the $100. Like I get why it's there because it is like a family console.
Makes
It's
more
technically
sense.
for kids, but it's really frustrating for me as an adult who's
Yeah.
trying to buy V-Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also get an email from Fortnite,
Yep.
so I get 3 emails every time I buy V-Bucks. Luckily, I don't get the same email when my
Fortnite crew.
when my crew renews. I just get the 2
Yeah,
from
they
Nintendo.
stay quiet about subscriptions. They don't want you knowing that you have a subscription.
Yeah, no, they
Until
move
the-
silent like the G in lasagna, dude.
Until there's an error with your payment, and then they're like, "Hey, where is it?"
See, I just always remember that it's gonna come out on the 7th of every month,
Mm.
and I only know that because of how many times I've been sitting there like, and I really want my 1,000 to hit, but it doesn't hit until your payday.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have to wait for that first week every month, and I always forget, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I have to wait until the 7th.
Yeah. I
'Cause
love that, like, if you get into it, like, at the last, like, even, like, the last, as long as you're within a month of the next season, you get both battle passes, and that's cool.
Yeah, I love that the battle pass comes with the Fortnite crew.
Mhm.
I that's legitimately what made it worth it for me, was me knowing that I was going to be buying the battle pass every month, every time anyway. I was like, you know what?
There was a fan-made concept that there would be, like, a crew pro, crew elite that would also come with, like, festival pass and any mini pass.
I would pay for that.
You would?
I would. I pay for all the mini passes already anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, because I love doing them. I think it's fun. It gives me something to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I find myself getting like really frustrated really quickly. If I don't have like 2 to 4 pages worth of quests to do, then I like once I'm out of quests, I just get frustrated that I'm losing
Right.
because I have to use the like, oh well, at least I got my quest done. Oh, I got my daily done. Oh, I got this done. I got that done. Whatever.
I'm like level 263.
I'm not even. I
It was the Wastelander dummy level up pack.
Yeah.
That shit goes crazy.
see. My problem is that between cat sitting, VBS, vacations, more cat sitting, I haven't had a lot of time to play Fortnite.
That's fair.
That's why I've been playing Dress to Impress, because it's on my phone. And then I can talk to and when I'm really into it, I can talk to the little gay people on my computer instead of in my phone. and that's me joining a Discord call and telling all my friends to stop playing Overwatch because I want to play Dress to Impress, and all of them going, hey.
I think Fortnite's gonna enter another peak though, with Marvel straight into OG Part 2 and then into Chapter 6. Like there's high potential here.
Yeah.
And we've been eating slop for too long. I take back what I said about the story though. They are actually telling a story.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I was playing Rocket Racing for hours again and was just watching Fortnite lore recaps for Chapter 5. And I'm like, all right, they are cooking a little bit. But that wasn't obvious from season 1. Like it's like they always have some sort of story going on, but sometimes it's so pointless. And I couldn't tell if this was a pointless story or like a cool one. Right now it's a little cool.
It's a little cool.
Little cool.
As a treat.
Little cool.
I think we legally need to call it though, otherwise we're gonna hit the 2-hour mark, and then yeah, we've gone for we're at 140.
And I can't even edit a 90-minute podcast.
So we'll it just means we have much to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
much to go over. So your mini-sode next week.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Good luck.
I'm sure there will be another chance. I'll put out another mini-sode at some point. Sometime when you can't
It'll
make it.
happen.
One of these days you're gonna text me and be like, I can't make
Be like,
it.
oops, I'm in Ohio again.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll record it and leave it on the
That
podcast
wasn't like
for
quirky
you.
Ohio. I really was in Ohio one time.
Yeah, that was legitimate.
Imagine. Ew.
Ew. It's like a Walmart
Ew.
commercial. Hate it. Ew. All right, we will catch you guys next time. Hopefully, we won't have as huge of a gap, but we're new to this. We're gonna figure it out.
And at the end of the day, it's not like the podcast is doomed to fail within the first 2 months.
Yeah, whatever.
We're at the very beginning.
We're fine.
Of our wonderful journey.
Most content creators at this point are still just uploading videos of their dogs on their YouTube channels this early on. Me, who had to private all of the videos of my friends' dogs on my YouTube channel.
So sad.
They're still. I leave all the videos on there. They're just unlisted.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I can send them to people when I'm like, "Hey, check out this cringe ass science project I did in 8th grade."
Mm-hmm.
But no one can find them. Just me. But we will catch you guys next time. Check out my socials, Nolynn's socials, etc.
They should have been on screen or in the description by now, but this one will be different.
It's all good. We can just throw them in the link tree. We have lots of link trees to check out down in the description.
There's an ARG in there.
You have to find it though. Good luck. You have to click on every single link, including the defunct link to our is the link to our fucking Patreon still there?
I haven't touched
Probably,
it.
yeah. You to complete the ARG, you have to pledge $5 a month on Patreon for nothing. Oops. Our bad.
All right.
But we will catch you next time. Bye, guys.